In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the weight belt appropriately. There's a large misconception, especially among laborers, that the weight belt holds you in place and keeps you safe. The reality is that the weight belt is a feedback mechanism that helps us become more efficient. You can try this little party trick at home with your friends, but basically try to flex your bicep as hard as you can. Say, okay, that felt like work. Now have your friend come over and try to pull your arm out and actively fight them. You will find that it is easier to engage more strongly when you have something to push against, or in this case, pull against, than just flexing in place. The same goes with the weight belt. So if I'm contracting my core in place, okay, cool, feels like I contracted my core. But if I have something for my abdomen to press against, then not only can I feel that pressure, but I'm able to contract more strongly. So the belts, taking your weight belt, you're going to get this between your ribs and your hips, the nice soft space that's actually movable that we don't want to move when we're lifting. And we're going to try to get this belt about as tight as you can comfortably get it. So now there's really not a lot of wiggle room here, but I can still breathe and have a conversation and not pass out. When I brace, I want to think about breathing into my abdomen and not my lungs. Sounds weird. I breathe my lungs. They're up here. Sure. But you can also fill your abdominal space with air. So sometimes in like yoga, they call this belly breathing. So if I breathe with my lungs, then I'm actually pulling my abdomen in, and now I have more space to wiggle free. If I imagine I'm breathing through a straw, it is now much tighter. And so once I have that air in my belly, I'm then going to trap the air so that it cannot escape. And then comes the next two important steps. Number one, I'm going to engage my pelvic floor just like I'm trying to hold in a number two. Very important that that step comes first, because then the second step is I'm going to brace or bear down like I'm trying to take a number two. This is why it's important you contract your pelvic floor first, because you don't want to have an accident. So I'm thinking about squeezing my pelvic floor, breathing in through that straw, trap, and then squeeze. And when done correctly, you can even hear the Velcro pulling because of how hard I'm squeezing against the belt. It's taking up all of that space. So now I have all of this outward pressure pushing against the belt, so that it makes it insanely difficult for my spine or my body to move. Same idea or principle is like a soda can, which I would never buy, but if the soda can is sealed, all of that air and pressure is trapped inside. So you could stand on that can and it would totally support your weight. But the moment you pop that can and let the air and the pressure out, you step on it and it's going to crumble under your weight. The same goes for your body. If I don't have any pressure inside of me, when someone steps on me, or if I have weight now placed on my shoulders, my midsection is going to collapse and crumble under the load. So I have to have equal, if not greater pressure inside of my body to resist the heavy pressure that's being placed on the outside of my body. So I brace, tight core, and now I can perform my lift, deadlifting, squatting, pressing, cleans, jerks, snatches, you name it. If there's heavy load on the system, you need to have a strong core, and that weightlifting belt provides the best mechanism to not only engage your core more strongly, but is also the feedback. If I can't feel the pressure in my belt, I know I'm not bracing and something is wrong. I need to readjust, take a timeout, reset, go for it again. If I'm not actively pressing against the belt's not helping me. So if you are a day laborer and you are lifting things throughout the day and you don't feel pressure around the belt, or you're not bracing against the belt as you're lifting, the belt is not helping you. So that is how you use a weightlifting belt.